Hey, ladies. I thought let me talk about the subject of just living a simple life. Now, a couple of years back when I was back in South Africa, my dad is a preacher, right? He's a pastor. And in one of his messages, he alluded to the fact of living a simple life. Also, he used to send me some of his notes that he wrote down when I was here in Canada. He used to send it to me via email, and there was a part of it where it also spoke on just living a simple life. And I didn't know what extent my dad was talking about, but I want to share with you the conclusion that I've come up with at this age and this stage of my life, what living a simple life is. And I'm a big proponent of just living a simple life. Listen, if you are a guy watching me right now, or a woman, and you, to a certain degree you resonate with just the title, I want you to stick around because I really want to share with you what I mean by this. Also, make sure to go ahead and share with me your thoughts also below regarding this topic. I'd love to hear from you. I'll definitely check the comments below and respond personally. So let's get into this. Why living a simple life is so important. One of the reasons I found is when you live a simple life, when you live a life with not a lot of distraction going on, with not a lot of busyness. One of the objections is people say, but isn't that a boring life, Randall? Isn't that a life that's going to tire you in terms of the just simplicity? Well, what I will say is this. When you live such a life, this one word comes to the forefront, and this one word is intentional. You see, many a times we live a distracted life because we don't want to focus on one thing, number one. Our attention is so sporadic that it's hard for us to focus. And living a simple life forces us to live intentionally. It forces us to focus on one thing and stick with that one thing. So, for example, when I live a simple life, it would be a matter of not having, we're going to get out of the gate swinging right now. When you have too many partners in your life, when you're chatting with this girl, and then you have a third one that you're kind of chatting with, but it's kind of just in the air a little bit. Live a simple life. And for some, it's going to be boring. For some people can say, but Randall, how are you going to gain experience by just doing one thing? And the biggest benefit to this is it's what happens on the inside. You see, emotionally, you are torn between this, you're torn between that. And at the end of the day, you realize who I become in the process is many a times more important than the destination. So, for example, let's take the relationship piece. The destination in this aspect might be finding a partner. But on your way to finding your partner, the general consensus is you've got to play the field, date as many women as you can, get as much experience under your belt as possible. You see where I'm going with this? But during that whole process, the person that you become in the process, you might end up with having someone in your life, but you've become someone that is so scattered internally, so torn internally, so unfocused internally. You see, you develop habits, you become your practices. If you are talking to multiple people at the same time, let's say you do that for 10 to 15 years. You're just chopping it up with 3 people at the same time, 4 people, and your ultimate goal is to be with one person. You're practicing that muscle of chatting with multiple people. So then you ask, so Randall, what's the antidote? Or what's the solution? Are you saying that we should just stick with one person, figure it out then, and then move to the next if that doesn't work out, and try to work it out and move to the next? What I'm saying is, when you spread yourself thin like that, the person you become is ultimately the person that is not fit for that destination. You see where I'm going with this? Living a simple life. With living a simple life comes less drama. I didn't say no drama, but comes less drama, I've realized. And many a times we are so used to having drama in our life that it becomes a default setting. That if drama isn't present, it is self-manufactured now, because I'm so used to having this drama in my life that anything else is abnormal. Let that one sink in. Living a simple life. For myself, specifically with finances, I decided that I'm not going to have a lot of unnecessary expenses, man. To the point of where you can't keep track in your mind what's coming out each month. Things are just so hectic. You're paying for this, that, for 3,000 things that you just know, okay, things go off. You don't know what it is, but it's just going off. Living a simple life. The big takeaway that I want you to take away from this is the word intentional. That's the major benefit of living a simple life. It forces you to be intentional. It forces you to have boundaries. Think about this one. My encouragement is that you might incorporate this bit by bit in your life, where living a simple life is part of your priority. I'm not saying become a minimalist. I'm not saying become a monk. It's very much a state of mind. And what living a simple life brings in terms of your state of mind. A level of peace, a level of contentment, especially in a world where, Instagram, you've got a level of contentment, and ultimately a state of intentionality, where you are intentional with your actions, intentional with what you do. Something pulls you from the one direction. You say, nah, I'm not going to do that. I live a simple life. I do these things. Of course, always keeping an attitude of flexibility and openness to try new things. But you know what I mean. Remember, make sure to let me know your comments and thoughts down below, and make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. But remember, like we always say, we are not here just to survive. We are here to thrive. And catch you in the next video. Peace.